Hi, and welcome to Couch Conversations Beyond the Textbook, where real talk meets real life in the world of mental health. We're your hosts, Abby and Bethany, two therapists who have been through the textbooks and are entering the trenches. This is a space where we unpack what they didn't teach you in grad school, the messy, the meaningful, and the moments that shape us as professionals and people. So grab a seat on the couch and let's dive in. Please note that the content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of a qualified mental health provider with any questions you may have regarding your mental health or medical condition. The views and opinions expressed by hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of any organizations or professionals they may be affiliated with. If you are in crisis, or if you think you may have a mental health emergency, please call 911 or contact a local mental health crisis line or emergency service in your area. Back to Couch Conversations Beyond the Textbook. I'm here with Abby today, obviously, because she's my co-host. We're in a goofy mood, so I don't really actually know what kind of mood we're in. Where are you at today?
I'm here. I am here. I'm awake.
Abby brought me a coffee, so yeah. I'm happy about it.
Shout out Main Street if you want to sponsor us.
Yeah, seriously. We'll do promotions for you.
Yeah.
Oh man, long week for you?
Yeah, it has kind of been a long week. Yeah, had a lot of cancellations this week.
That's always tough.
Yeah.
Especially when it breaks up your day and you have one client and then two cancel or whatever it is, and then you're just kind of sitting in the office
for 2 hours and yeah. But it's illness season, so
yeah,
it
happens. You understand.
Yeah,
you're empathetic towards your clients.
Very much so. Yeah, I get a lot of work done in those 2 hours that they're canceled. So yeah,
it is nice. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day, how really when I have a client cancel, I should do a CEU or a continuing education credit.
Yeah.
I haven't done any of those yet.
Me neither.
So I need to get on top of that. That's one thing that in grad school, you don't think about how when you get out, it's not structured. So you're not forced to do anything. So you just let things go to the wayside. And now I'm oh shoot.
I have 20 CEUs I got to get done. Well, now and the next year it's 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got 40 in the next year and a half.
Yeah.
So not this April, but the next we have to have 40 hours by.
Yep. That's a lot. That's a lot of hours.
That just stressed me out right now. I can feel my heart rate elevating.
It's real, guys. It's real.
It's real. So if you're in grad school and you're listening, don't be like us.
Yeah, get your CEUs. Do them consistently. Yeah. I'm going to do some today, I think.
That's great.
Now that we're talking about it.
I know. I have a couple that I have through the American Counseling Association that I've already downloaded that I can go back and do. I think I have 3 because you get a free one a month if you're a member or something.
Yeah, that's another tip. Make sure you keep up your memberships wherever you're at.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to renew that too because I'm not a student anymore.
I know, I have to renew mine.
Oh, then you have to pay for it. Anyway, that's where we're at today. So, what's our topic for today?
We are going to talk about theory.
Theory.
A little bit about theory, a little bit about this, and a little bit about that.
A little bit about this, a little bit about that.
So what is your theory, or what you studied in grad school?
Yeah, so in our grad program, they make you choose one theory, which we've probably talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
But you have to choose one theory, really specialize in it or do a deep dive into that theory. I chose Adlerian, or also known as individual psychology. I love it.
Tell us a little bit about it.
So Adler, stand-up fella, he views it the lens that you view. So your theory really is, it places a lens on how you view your clients.
Right.
A client walks in and this is kind of how you see them in a way, how they fit into, I don't know how to say that word. It doesn't sound bad. Yeah.
Yeah, into the world and how do they view themselves within their life and their social settings and all things.
So my theory views people more holistically, but when I see a client, I'm thinking about what's their social connection like?
Mm-hmm.
How did they grow up? What were they taught in childhood, whether that was outwardly or messages that they received like inwardly through different actions from their siblings or parents, how they perceived their childhood, what their connection is like now, different thoughts that they might be having.
Yep.
That connect to their behaviors. It's very goal centered. Like every person has a goal in mind, whether they know it or not, and they're acting out towards that goal, which we can go a deep dive into theory another time. Like we won't go super deep. We should do a series of like different theories.
Yeah, we should.
And go into them because I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
And maybe we can get some different people on that.
Yeah.
That do those theories. But that's mine, and I love it. But at the same time, in grad school, I think it was super helpful that they make you specialize in a theory. But then at the same time, when you get into the real world, it's going to look a little different than what it did in grad school. Yeah. So you tell me, what's your theory?
So in grad school, I concentrated on cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and I chose that, and this is going to sound awful, but I chose CBT because it was easy. Mm-hmm. I mean, and not that it's the easiest of all theories, but it's very, very widely used and common, and there was a ton of research on it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of backing to be able to support CBT and why it works. So, and in doing so, because I've always seen myself as a little more of an Adlerian person as well. Mm-hmm. I really believe in like the hierarchy of the family and like your placement with your siblings and like, again, your environment growing up, all that stuff plays an impact. In studying CBT, I really found that, especially working with kids, that CBT is actually, there's a reason why it's so commonly and widely used. So CBT is, to give you a general view of it, it's basically focusing on your thoughts and what you think about yourself, your environment, and other people. That drives your feelings and your emotions, which then drives your behavior. So if we can alter our thoughts and look at the evidence of what we believe to be true and what is actually true, if you can alter your thought, then you can alter your feeling, which will then alter your behavior.
Right.
And so that's kind of what we focus on. And with kids, it seems to really hit home because they're little and they live by their thoughts. Like the self-esteem, especially with my teens, working through self-esteem and like, I know this is how you feel about yourself, but is this true about you? And so that's been really beneficial to know that. But ultimately, when I think when it comes to theory, we're working with what works with our client.
Right.
And there's no cookie cutter theory. There's no cookie cutter belief. So you kind of, in a sense, I feel like everyone is a little existential in their theory once you get into your career, because you are pulling from lots of different theories and people around you when you are getting stuck with a client. I might go and ask you or a supervisor or somebody for some advice or some help, and they could be a completely different theory.
Yeah.
But I find that it works.
Yeah, I think that with CBT, it's nice because there's a lot of different interventions.
Yes.
Especially with kiddos, that can be helpful.
Yeah. But CBT it can be very heavily intervention based. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. So it works well with play therapy.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing. So Adlerian is not, there's some interventions, but it's not super intervention based. But what I like about Adlerian is that I feel like it pulls, or maybe I would say other theories pulled from Adlerian as well. But which if Deb's listening to this, she'll love that I just said.
She will. But you will be her star student again.
I'll have to send this one to her. But yes, so for Adlerian, it's definitely like when you were talking about the thoughts and how that affects your behaviors, Adler would say similarly. But he goes a step further and it's like that's coming from somewhere.
Right.
Which that's what I really like. Because I'm like, I personally think like we have, our thoughts that affect our behaviors and our emotions. But then it's like a lot of times, where's that coming from?
Right.
Yeah. where's that stemming from? What did
when
you
was the first time you thought that?
Yeah.
Where did
What
you
taught
hear
you
that?
to believe that about yourself? Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I love my theory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy I chose it. But it is not like, I definitely pull from other theories too.
For sure.
And I feel like in my practice, I'm just much more, say like, I don't push a lot of theory into my everyday counseling sessions.
Right.
Like I'll do interventions, but a lot of times like I work with a lot of adults. So they come in and they know what they want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
They have like, we do their goals. We have their goals in mind. So we'll work on those. But sometimes clients come in and you'll have your treatment plan and you'll be like, these are our goals. And then they'll come in and be like, I don't want to talk about that today. I have something else that went on. And you're just like, okay, we're going to pivot. So I think that theory's a good baseline for sure. But each of your sessions is going to look differently.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And it is different with adults because a lot of times adults just need somebody to talk through, process through things together.
Yeah.
To give them a different perspective on how to look at things or how to work through something, where as working with kids, they don't even know why they're there a lot of the times. And so I would say like the vast majority of what I do is just emotional regulation and, letting kids know it's okay to feel how you feel, but like the way that you're expressing how you feel is what's not okay. And we need to work through, like, you can be mad at mom and dad, but you can't throw things.
Yeah.
What else can we do that will help us show that we're angry without getting in trouble? And so that's a lot of what we do. And that does require quite a few interventions and tools for the kids to like have that is they can see, that are visual and tangible in their hand, to be able to be like, hey, I'm going to use this feelings thermometer to show my parents how I'm feeling right now, rather than trying to tell them through.
Yeah.
Because they don't know.
Right. I think that's the cool thing about working with kids too, is that you get to see like those light bulbs come on. Even when you're with an adult client and you see them like make a connection or like in their head, you're just like, oh my word.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
It's incredible.
Like, that's such a
cool
part of our
That's
job.
why we do what we do.
Yeah,
like
that's really cool.
It's for the breakthroughs.
Yeah. So I remember being in grad school and you get to, so in practicum, you don't choose a theory.
Correct.
You're learning about theories, but you don't choose one. And then you get to internship and all of a sudden they're like, you have to choose a theory. This is what you're working under this is what you're going to learn. We did our grad program. We do like a big theory project. You learn all about it and try to practice it and whatever. And then you use it in your case conceptualizations. But I remember at the time, I was like, I have no idea what I want to choose for my theory. And I was very stressed about it.
Same.
I was like,
it freaked me out.
Because I was like, this is all I'm going to know. This is all I'm going to be able to do. Yeah. Like, it felt like putting counseling in a box.
It did. Like, and it was like, there are so many theories. Which one's the right theory? Right. Like, it was so overwhelming. Yes. And I was like, go through the theories. And then they have you take, like, do you remember taking the, like, theory test of, like, what we did that in practicum? I don't feel like we did that. Okay, I did that in practicum. And you did? Yeah, we took, like, a theory test that told us, like, what theory, it asks you a bunch of questions, and then it tells you what theory you most align with. Oh, that's amazing. And I got something that I think I got, like, solution focused or something like that I wouldn't really say love
that's
it. Yeah.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, which is interesting, but I also think that and then I think CBT was up there, but as I was reflecting on it, I was like, in undergrad, you learn the most about CBT. Like in my undergrad program, you learn the most about CBT. So I think I was answering questions based on like what I thought I should be. Yeah, I mean, do we not do that though? Like personality tests? Yes. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is what I think is the right one. Yeah. Yeah, but I just remember feeling so stressed. I was like, I don't know what I want. And I wrote like a whole, in practicum, I wrote like a whole, because you have to do journals every week. Yes. And in my journal, when I asked about theory, I had written like this whole thing about what I believe about human beings. And I remember my practicum professor, who was Dr. Brew, she's the head of our program. Amazing. She was like, you should look into Adlerian. Oh, that's amazing. I was like, I do believe like CBT and how thoughts connect, and Brew is CBT. And I was like, I believe how thoughts connect to behavior. I just feel like there's more. Like, I think that our background really impacts the way that we operate in our life. And I just went on this whole tangent. And she just wrote, like, you should really look into Adlerian. I was like,
that's amazing.
And, like, you take a class on the theories, but you don't really remember all of them.
I don't. I couldn't tell you right now a lot of them.
No. So Adlerian hadn't even crossed my mind, really, because it's not like a super popular one, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I don't know that I know very many people.
Yeah.
That practice from that framework.
That's shout out Dr. Brew.
Yeah.
That's how I did that.
Yeah, we definitely, I don't remember taking any sort of quiz or test. I can't remember who my practical professor is right now. But I will say, like, even working in the field right now, I could not tell you about the framework of a lot of other theories.
No.
And I think that's part of what made me feel so overwhelmed in grad school was that, like, there were so many and I didn't feel like I knew any of them well enough to be able to choose one. And then they want you to choose one. So then you feel like you're studying all of them, but then it's so much that I didn't feel like I was retaining things or that I was confusing them. So it was very overwhelming. And that was another reason I chose CBT because I knew it.
Yeah.
And I knew Adlerian because I've always liked Adlerian, but which is so funny because, like you said, it's not super popular.
Yeah.
But I think, and might sound very Adlerian on me, but as a middle child, I very much related to a lot of the things he said.
Yeah.
As, I think a lot of who I am stems from being a middle child.
Yeah.
And I do see a lot of similarities between myself and other middle children I know. But anyway,
we love birth order.
We love us some birth order.
Adler loves birth order.
Yes. But so if you're in grad school and you're overwhelmed with this, it's okay because you're going to continue to be overwhelmed by it.
Yes.
But it becomes a much less big deal when you get out.
For sure. It feels like in grad school it's a huge deal.
Yes.
And then you're like, you're making a decision for the rest of your career.
Yes.
And you're not, like, it's cemented in, you're not going to be able to change. That's not the case.
I remember trying to figure out what my counselor's theory was.
Yes.
When I was trying to pick one because I loved the way she counseled me, and I still don't know what it was. But like I can guess just by the things that we did. But
yeah.
Chances are she was.
I feel like I know when people are CBT for the most part. Like when a counselor is CBT, even just talking to them like therapist to therapist, I'm like, you're definitely CBT.
That's fair. That's valid.
Not you. You don't give as much CBT, but I think that's because your heart is in a different place. This is me trying to convince everyone to do it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Dr. McAvoy.
Adlerian supremacy.
You and Deb are going to take over the world.
I just feel like sometimes when you have a CBT therapist, they're a little more like analytical than I am. Mm-hmm. And I think that I can just but a lot of other theories, that's why I'm like, you don't give off as much CBT. There's nothing wrong with CBT. It's great. A lot of progress can be made. Insurance companies love it.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
So, and I use a lot of CBT interventions. So
it does work really well with kids.
It does. And with adults too. I think it depends. Each client is different too. I think each client's brain works differently. Mm-hmm. So then if you know your client is more analytical, like they are black and white, they want to just like get to the nitty gritty, CBT is great.
That black and white thing.
If they don't want to really go into their background.
Cognitive distortion.
Oh, man. Now I feel like I've dogged on CBT this whole podcast, but that's okay.
You have not. I'm not offended.
Okay, good. I just,
You're just very Adlerian. And people who work from the Adlerian framework are very, very loyal to their theory. I have learned if you're Adlerian, you are all the way.
Yeah.
And you truly believe Adlerian is like superior to all other theories. It's true.
It sounds so cocky.
It's so funny.
But when you look at other theories, not to get on this tangent, but when you look at other theories, it really seems like they pulled from Adler. So much of his theory, like
I really hope that was.
Oh my gosh, we won't get into the weeds of that, but maybe if we do an Adlerian focused podcast, we'll bring Deb on.
That's what we will do. Really, and then you and Deb, I'm just going to step back.
Push you out of the podcast.
I'll sit behind you too, laughing. That's hilarious. Something else I thought might be interesting to talk about, and this has nothing to do with theory, but is kind of like as a new mom, you are now balancing home life and work life. And we've touched on it here and there, but I kind of would like to get in the nitty gritty of that.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about it.
What do you want to know?
I want to know, so I imagine your stress level is a little bit higher than what it used to be.
Yeah, I think, a little bit.
So let's talk about how do you work with that? How do you handle that? What does your self-care look like?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Self-care.
My
you don't
self-care
know is filling your own cup back up.
Yeah. Right now, I mean, I'm only working 2 days a week, so I think that really helps. Right now, my self-care is going to bed at 8 o'clock.
That's valid.
In my head right now, as soon as he goes to sleep, I'm counting the hours until he wakes up. And I'm like, how much sleep can I maximize in this time? Because I am a girly that needs at least 8 hours of sleep, if not more.
That's valid.
And I struggle if I don't have it.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't been having it. So you kind of just do it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's truth to that. When we have these big life changes, you adjust and you just do it.
Yeah.
I remember when I started back at school and, all my friends had kids and they're like, how are you doing this? Because I had a job, I had 2 adolescents at the time and was going to school full time, wife. And I was like, you just do. Yeah. You just fit it in and your life adjusts around it.
Right.
But I think something that isn't talked about enough is self-care and what that looks like, not just as a therapist, but what is self-care?
Yeah. It's a great point. Right now I do find, so I love to take a good bath.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I have my bath salts and things like that. And so I'll read my book and take a bath and that is wonderful. So just things like that, making sure to still take a little bit of time to myself every couple days.
Okay.
To kind of just reset. I think that's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that it's gone well so far being back to work. So that makes me feel better. I think we have a good system with childcare in place and things like that. And so that's made me feel just more
a routine.
Yeah, just better. It is nice to be in a routine.
Yeah.
I've actually loved being back with I love my job.
Yes.
So that it's just very life-giving.
Yes, it is.
And so I think that it's just been nice to be back doing it. I just feel very passionately about my work with clients. Even yesterday I had a couple intakes and I texted my husband and I was like, I just love my job. I love working with clients. And so to hold both those things, I love being a mom and it's so hard to be away from him for those couple days. But at the same time, I love my job and it makes me feel competent in a way of I'm not just a mom, but I worked really hard to get where I'm at and
it's something that's about you.
Yeah, and I feel passionate and it's nice to be around other adults coworkers and stuff and have people that aren't just other moms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nice to relate to people on something that's not just motherhood. So
yeah,
I think that's been I feel like I can be a better mom because I'm also doing this.
Right. Yeah, you have a separation within your identity. You're not just a mom. And I think it's very easy to fall into a box as a mom or as an athlete or as a student, or it doesn't have to be as a parent, but as a wife, it's very easy for us to fall into a box.
Yeah.
And then get comfortable there. And I think that it's very important. And I think that's where self-care does come in is, I don't know the exact definition of what self-care is, but to us, self-care is taking care of yourself. And I always put it in we as human beings are always pouring out of ourselves to other people. And that's just what we do. It's natural. It's human nature, but you can't pour from an empty cup. And I know that's an, overuse saying, but self-care is filling your own cup. Then it looks different for everybody. For me, I've worked really hard on making sure that I'm staying social.
Yeah.
I'm making lunch dates, or Wednesday nights at church. My kids go off to their youth group, and I will sit and talk with some friends, or whatever that looks like. I'm a social being, and but social as our job is. It's really good for me to just be in community, and I have to work hard to do that.
Yeah, I would say that that's good for everyone.
No, it's fair.
I think that that social connectedness has been so important for me. Like I have, like I said, it's so nice to be back around even coworkers or getting to chat or even starting this up again. Whenever we film our podcast, I'm like, oh my gosh, my day is made. I love it. Like, I just love to chat.
I know, it's so fun.
And so it's just been so fun. Even during maternity leave, like I could tell I was kind of getting like if I didn't have something scheduled for the day, I would be like, because when you have a baby, your day so like you're living around the clock. I'm always thinking about the time. How long has he been awake? When's the last time he ate? How long did he sleep for? How long is his nap been? Whatever it might be. And so if I didn't have something planned, I was like, it's like Groundhog's Day. Like I'm living the same day over again, which is
very true, especially as a new mom. Yeah.
Yes. And I love being at home with him, but if I didn't have something planned for multiple days in a row, I could feel myself getting lonely and being like, I need that connection. Yeah. I definitely crave that connection too. I'm very extroverted, so
I am too.
It's hard
clearly
to be alone for like a full day.
Yeah.
And the next day it's like, okay, I have to make plans with somebody.
Yeah.
I need to, or even just going out like on a walk or things like that. Like getting out of the house.
That vitamin D
is something that
too.
Yeah, something that I have to do.
If you were sitting with a client that was, in a very dark place, very deeply into depression, or and you ask them, what's your self-care look like? And they would say, I don't even know where to start that back up. What would you say to them?
That's a good question. I think that also can go back to how we view the client in our theory. So if I have a client that's in a deep depression, my first thought is, what is their connection like? Are they connecting with other human beings? Are they giving back in some way? I know that can that really can help people that are depressed by go give back to your community in some way. That makes you feel that's life-giving in itself. But so that's my first thought is the social connectedness of their lives at the current. And a lot of times you find with people who are depressed, they're isolated. Either they're isolating themselves or they've been isolated. And that is either making their depression worse or what's causing it. And so I think that would be my first kind of inquiry with a client who is in a deep depression. Well, when's the last time, what's your social life like? Without saying how many friends do you have, that's kind of what you're getting at. How often do you talk to other people outside of yourself or your family or whatever it might be? And if it's not often, that's kind of where I think that you would want to start. Yeah. And I know it's easier said than done with a client who is severely depressed because it's hard to get out of the funk.
Well, it's hard to get the motivation and energy to do something to help.
Yes. And absolutely. If with their depression, they're feeling lethargic, unable to shower or things like that. Yeah. Small steps, set small goals for yourself. Today, my only goal for the day is that I'm going to shower. Yeah. That's it.
The success of that goal is huge in that place.
Right. For sure. So just especially with clients that are in, a deeper depressive state, those small goals are helpful because if you set big goals, it might be really hard for a client that's super depressed to be we'll go out and socialize.
They can't even get out of bed.
Really broad. Yeah.
Getting to that appointment was hard.
Right, exactly. And then it's if I go out and socialize, then I have to brush my teeth and I have to take a shower and I have to make sure I'm eating and I have to look put together or whatever it might be. Yeah. And then I have to do laundry because I haven't done laundry in 3 weeks. So it's that's maybe not super attainable right away. So let's scale it back and start with
let's brush your hair.
Yeah, let's brush your hair today. Whatever it might be, just small steps. Yeah, with you, so for CBT, how would you How would you, if the client presented being
well, I think I would start with, it's hard because if I'm working with an adult client, it would be, okay, well, tell me, it would be probably fairly similar of, well, what are some things that when you are feeling good, bring you joy? What makes you feel joy?
Yeah.
And what is going on at that time? What's around you? What's happening in your head? Are these people, like, when you're feeling that joy, what are you thinking about? And then, I kind of work backwards from there as like, okay, so what can we do today to spark those feelings or those thoughts? And kind of leaving it in their lap. I mean, I will give them ideas and thoughts and kind of help guide them to something. Another thing that I focus on a lot is, what's your diet and exercise look like?
Yeah.
When you're having a hard time getting out of bed, we know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But the amount of, not now, but the amount of clients that I saw working at the college, of kids who were eating and not sleeping and eating horribly and not working out, and they would come in and they'd be like, I'm so depressed.
Yeah.
And so we would try to alter that just a little bit. I just want you to go for a 20-minute walk. I had one client who was like, I set a goal to do 100 push-ups a day. Great. Which was a huge goal.
Yeah.
But he was accomplishing it. But just that little change was all they needed.
Yeah.
To get the motivation to get up and then start bringing things back into their life that brought them joy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And we go back to that whole holistic view of like the whole body, and diet and exercise is huge.
It's huge. Sleep, diet, and exercise.
To our mental health, it's huge.
If one of them is not going well, could be a big indicator of why you're not doing well. And when I'm not saying you have to be in the gym every single day.
No.
Exercise could look like taking a 10-minute walk.
Yes.
Like things like, it doesn't have to be, I'm going and maxing out on my reps and all of that.
And diet doesn't have to be broccoli, grilled chicken, and rice every day.
Correct. Yeah.
And everything in moderation. But it's being mindful of what you're doing, what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
And when you're in that really deep, dark place, it does matter. That's probably the first thing that goes, right? Is your diet, exercise. And so when I have clients who are severely depressed, you can see it on them that they are, they got the dark circles under their eyes. They're not sleeping. They just present as really lethargic and tired. And so if you could get them to set a goal of, I'm going to walk around the block.
Yeah.
Just getting, or outside.
Even I think that helps increase a client's self-awareness too, of like, maybe they didn't realize the connection between like, hey, when I actually make a meal for myself, even if it's once a week, I feel better than when I eat fried fast food.
Absolutely.
And having those connections be made, it might not be I can't say I make food every single day. That's completely healthy. We eat out sometimes. Yeah. But at the same time, if I was eating out every day, I notice myself when I eat out, I don't feel as good as when I make a meal at home.
Yeah.
But that's another thing I love about our practice is that we do have a nutritionist on the staff. So shout out to that.
Amazing.
Yeah. I haven't met her yet, but I love that we have that.
Yes.
Available.
Agreed.
So what would your advice be to someone in grad school that is feeling stressed where we were at, a year and a half ago, trying to choose a theory to work under?
Well, as a therapist, I don't give advice.
So do what you want.
I couldn't wait to say that. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh. I would say, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Find something that speaks to you.
Yeah.
It's not forever. It's not. You're not committing your life to something, and just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
I feel like I 100% overthought it.
Yeah.
I feel like I overthought a lot of things.
Yes, for sure. Like you're going to be able to, once you get into the real world, you can use things from different theories and
nobody's asking you.
Nobody's asking you.
Well, that's not true. They did ask us when they interviewed us.
Well, yeah. But I don't think there's a wrong answer either.
That's absolutely correct.
So,
and they're not going to come in and study what you're doing to see if you're doing your theory right.
Yeah. No. It's just if you're seeing change in your clients.
Yep.
And and at the end of the day, what people need the most is someone that will listen to them and someone that shows empathy. That's like the person-centered. I always thought this is just the basis of counseling. The like unconditional positive regard, empathy, and what's the other one?
Unconditional positive regard, empathy. It's right there on the tip of my tongue.
Help us out.
Yeah, it's right there on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it.
Carl Rogers.
I think so.
Okay, well, got that right.
You hope.
That's probably an NCE question, so you're welcome.
Don't. What if it's not right?
Yeah, look it up first.
I will look it up.
What is it? Unconditional positive regard, empathy. Anyway,
I'm looking it up.
It's called person-centered. That's a theory, and I feel like that's just the basis for all counselors. We all should be empathetic, have unconditional positive regard.
Just a humanistic theory.
Congruence. Is that it?
That's a humanistic theory.
I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway. Sorry if I steered you all the wrong way. Oh, man. Yeah. I think that...
Centered.
Now we're looking it up because...
Well, if it's an NCE question, we want to give you the right answer.
Yeah.
It's Carl Rogers. You're correct.
Okay. So the basis is... Does it say?
No. Your hands are freezing.
I know, I'm holding this.
Congruence, empathy, congruence, and unconditional positive regard.
Okay, there we go.
Good job.
So now that we've got all that to say, I do think that that's kind of where our base should be. Baseline.
I feel like that's valid, yeah.
Yeah.
I tell parents all the time with their kids that, don't expect to see results immediately.
Yeah.
Our first 2 or 3 sessions very well could be just us playing games.
Yeah.
And
especially with kids.
Yes. And I say, it's going to take me, and some take longer than others, but I got to build that. Mm-hmm. I got to build that trust and alliance with them. And that is that unconditional. Get them to know that I have an unconditional respect for them. And I'm a safe person. So I agree that is like the basis of what we do.
Yeah. And I think that's why the intake session is like kind of the worst, because you can't really build any of that yet. So then you get to the next session and you're like, now that I've pestered you with all of these questions about your personal life that you probably didn't want to share with me, let's start from the baseline. Like, let's
just play.
I promise I'm actually do care about your problems. I just couldn't go into depth with them.
Yes.
Session.
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely if you are a counselor in training and you are empathetic, you care about people, you are non-judgmental.
Yeah.
You hold people to the highest regard. You think the best of people, I think. A lot of times you have to think the best of people. Then you're doing, and then you're a good listener.
Yep. Yeah. And you want to see results. Your goal is to get them out of that seat.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Your theory is not what defines you as a counselor.
That's absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah. It helps give direction sometimes. And like I said, it's kind of like how you view the client, but that doesn't mean that it's how you direct sessions.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I don't look at my clients and think about what their thoughts are immediately. It's more like as you get to know your client,
yes,
you are going to recognize things from your theory that come up that, like, for example, I'll talk to a client and I'll be like, oh, I know an intervention that'd be really good for that.
Yeah.
Or I just heard that, that cognitive distortion that I just heard your black and white thinking or catastrophic thinking. And so like, it's things like that you'll notice as you get to know your client and you hear them speak. It'll be like thoughts from your theory will come up.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. That's true. I think it comes more naturally once you've like learned your theory pretty well. And that's one thing I do appreciate, that they make you learn theory, because then it's like, well, I know this theory well.
Yes.
And then when you get to the real world, you can theories and
Yes.
use things from it. But it is
It's
nice
always
in
a
grad school to
fallback.
have some direction where it's like, if you're stuck with a client, it's like, okay, let me go back to
Correct,
what
yeah.
I know about them and where there could be some connections that,
Yeah.
could be made. And it's not foolproof. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, surely this is why this is happening. Like, oh, and then I could be totally off base. Like,
Yeah.
whatever it might be. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head, but
Well, you could, for example, you could be like, oh, your childhood must have looked like X, Y, and Z, and
Yeah.
it did not. And it'd be like, oh, well, that's not where that
Yes.
came from then.
right. Like if a client, let's say, is having a lot of like self-image issues or and anxiety, I might think, I wonder what her childhood was like. Maybe she didn't get a lot of or they didn't get a lot of affirmation in their childhood, but maybe they did. Maybe they had a great childhood, and it's like, oh, that's not where it's coming from. It actually is an ex-boyfriend who treated her really poorly or something like that.
Absolutely.
So, but it is nice to like, then at least you can dig a little deeper and get that information and start to help make those connections in your own brain and for the client. And clients, like we've said before, will tell you when you're wrong. So you don't have to worry too much about that.
No, and they're not mean about it. They're just like,
No.
that's not what I was thinking at all.
Yeah. And actually sometimes it makes them think through what they actually were thinking. And then you're like, great, we both got there together.
Yeah. And I think when I started this journey, I thought being a counselor, I would just sit in a seat, we would just talk, and things would change. And because that's what it felt like when I was in counseling.
Yeah.
But it is so nice to know the theory that like when that's not working and no change is happening, or you're stuck and like you're with a very resistant client and they're in there because life is kind of blown up around them, but they've done nothing wrong. Because we'll get those. Like, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. It was this person, this person, this person. You have something to fall back on, to look at, to be like, okay, we got to do some gentle challenging, and we got to have a direction to go in. And it's nice to have a theory to be like, okay, let's look into this a little bit deeper.
Yeah. I always think about, it would be interesting. Like, obviously we did our own personal counseling in grad school because that was a requirement, which I love that requirement. But I have never counseled another therapist.
Yeah.
So I think it would be interesting too, though, because I know myself, if I was going to counseling right now, I feel like I would always be thinking about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, I know what you're doing. So I think it'd be hard to be a therapist that's a counselor for another for a fellow therapist.
Absolutely.
Which is just interesting, especially if you have two different like worldview baselines, theory baselines,
like very different ones.
Yeah.
That would be.
But then at that point, and that's the thing, is sometimes you are not going to be, which we can talk about this in another episode.
Yeah.
Sometimes you aren't going to be the right therapist for someone.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's okay. Like,
that's happened to me.
Yeah. Sometimes your client's just not going to
We
vibe
didn't
with you.
jive.
Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. I used to think in grad school I would be like so nervous about that. What if my clients don't like me, which is a me thing that I had to reflect on, because like it's not about me. But I would remember being like, well, what if I'm not? I would take if a client and I did not jive, I would take it personally in that I'm not doing a good enough job.
Right.
And for the most part, that's just not the case. Like a lot of times, personality differences, how you do therapy. Like I said, some people really want that like black and white analytical type of like, some people want to do the worksheets. Yeah. I'm not a worksheet girly. I don't want to go to counseling to do worksheets.
I'm CBT and I'm not a worksheet girly.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Yeah. But some people do. And that's okay. Yeah. And that's typically like, I can do that for a client if they want. But a lot of times if they're wanting that, they're probably not going to like my style of counseling either. So it's just, you know, if you're in grad school and you're like, oh, this client and I like, I got fired by them, in quotes, don't take it personally. It's
just like anything
you
else.
can do some self-reflection, but it's most likely not about you. Like sometimes you just
not gonna be everybody's cup of tea in anything you do in life.
Yeah, so. There would be counselors that I'd be like, I don't think you could be my counselor. Not you personally. Yeah. You could be my counselor. But you couldn't be because we're besties, so it's not ethical. Don't do that.
I'm not biased.
But someone like you.
Or unbiased.
And then there's people that I'd be like, I don't think we drive. Yeah. And I know people would think that about me, so it's okay. I've come to accept that. Yeah. Anyway, all that to say, theory,
theory.
Let us know if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, I know a very popular theory right now is internal family systems.
Oh.
And I know we got a few people.
Yes, we'll have to do that. That's a
get,
really fun theory.
Yeah, that's a theory that it took me a very long time to wrap my mind around because there's so many moving parts to that theory.
Yeah.
But everything I hear about it is that it works really well.
It's
and so
fascinating.
I am not an expert. I am not going to have a lot of answers, but we know some people who could jump on here with us. And talk internal family systems because that's very popular right now.
I kind of forgot about that one. And I remember in grad school, a couple of my classmates were doing that. And I was like, this is fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Like the way that it works. So we'll have to do a podcast. Yeah. I think we should do like a series on each episode is a different theory that we go through. Because I think that'd be cool. And we can get guests on that are more experienced than us.
We gotta get you and Deb to do an Adlerian.
I know.
So funny.
Oh man, that'd be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to do that. I think that would be really cool.
And I still would really like to do a live. So we would need to like put it out for a time and a date, but I would really like to do a live. If we have listeners who would like to tune into a live, please let us know because I'd hate to set up a live and then nobody show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just to ask random, whatever you want to ask us questions about what we do, what it's like. And
yeah, it'd be fun. We do. There's a lot to being a therapist, and we like to talk about it.
We do. It's so fun.
It's so fun. I love it.
We love our jobs.
We do love our jobs. So yeah, thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful for you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in grad school, but even if not, now you know a little bit more about, and I'm sure other therapists can relate as well.
I would have never known before that there was even theories in counseling. So
now you know.
Yeah.
The more you know. Yeah. Hopefully in the future we'll do some more on theory because it's interesting and I feel passionate about it. What?
Nova.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know if there's anything you want to hear on the podcast, any questions you have for us. All the things. We hope
pick our brains.
Hope that you enjoyed this sesh. So thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out with us on Couch Conversations Beyond the Textbook. If today's episode resonated with you, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone you think can relate. Keep showing up, keep learning, and remember, the best growth doesn't always come from a textbook. See you next time.